Marketing today is super complicated. It kind of feels like every day there's a new channel or tactic to pursue. In this highly competitive environment, coming up with marketing strategies can be tough because it's just so time-consuming. So if you're an entrepreneur or even a marketer working in-house, you have a lot of other stuff to do. But what if I told you that there's an AI tool that can help you develop a full marketing strategy? It's called Digital First AI, and Rafal, the founder and creator of this magical product, is here to walk us through it. Now, Rafal, let's pretend that I want to start a business selling vintage t-shirts online. I need a full marketing strategy. Can you help?
Thanks, Rita. Hey, I'm Rafal, I'm CEO of Digital First AI. Right now, we're going to break down in just a few steps how this platform can totally help you out with first creating and then executing a marketing strategy for the gig that we'll be using just as an example, launching an online store that's all about selling vintage t-shirts. Let's go. All right, so first we'll be logging into the app by using this address. My email address, my password was already here. Let's click sign in right now. Once we're in, you will see a list of projects you are currently working with. We have 3 of them: e-commerce launch, product launch, and loyalty program for drivers. Obviously, for our purpose, we are focusing on the first one. We want to launch an e-commerce business that will be selling vintage t-shirts online. So yeah, let's dive in. First thing to do in the creative process is briefing the tool about a business that is already running or a new one that we are about to create a strategy for. And there are several options for both scenarios here, starting with providing a URL address to website if it's already existing, explaining that in natural language in a few sentences here, uploading files such as PDF or some presentations, recording your voice, or uploading content from other tools. That's also possible here. Obviously, we don't have any website yet. So what we're going to choose and what we want to do, we need to create a brief so our tool can understand what kind of strategy do we want to build. Let's do it right now. In the next step, to go forward, we have to go to the library of marketing tactics. This is a collection of hundreds of different marketing strategies created by marketers for marketers. And you can consider them automated workflows that have a lot of steps in it, a lot of prompts in it, a lot of tools in it. One of the tactics here says launching an e-commerce store, and we will be actually using this workflow to recreate it for our new business. Okay, so we are inside of our strategy document view. This is also where the whole workflow for the template is embedded here, created by the author of this template. You can also create your own custom workflows in this tool, but we are using something that was pre-made for the e-commerce launch. And in order to create the strategy for the e-commerce launch, there are some necessary steps for you that you have to basically execute. We're starting with the briefing summary. So this is what I have gathered so far. This is the only input that we have. Build a marketing strategy for a US-based e-commerce company selling vintage t-shirts for bands and musical performers. On the next steps, this is where things get interesting because the author has created some pre-made prompts that are using our AI agents to provide some output for you. And first of those is an example of an AI researcher that can basically go to the web and find some information about particular market. In this example, I have already created it. I have already prepared it using this prompt inside this tool. So we have a few points that are really interesting, like demographics, market growth, competitor analysis, pricing trends, and some others. And the next is the global trends that we can also find. So what are the main global trends for the market? We have 5 different points that we can use for our strategy generation. So what I'm going to do next is that I will be creating a PDF document out from the data that I have found so far. And we will be using this as an input to our AI strategy that I will be creating in the next step. Okay, now that we found some really helpful data coming from the market research conducted by our AI agent, and we also have some global trends points, everything around our niche, which is the vintage t-shirt market, of course. And now we can go back to the data room on our business details. So what I'm gonna do right now, with the document that I just saved to a PDF, as you can see, we have all the points here. I'm uploading it, it's already there, and I'm hitting generate and see what happens next. Using this information, we will now create 8 steps of our marketing strategy. And as you can see on the bottom, something is already getting completed by our AI, and they are canvases. canvases are a big part of our tool because we use them in order to structure the business parameters, because we think that the visual representation of your key essential data about your business, it works great with canvases. So as you can see, we can already understand what is going to be our unique value proposition, what are going to be the channels, our revenue streams, cost structure, key metrics, so unfair advantage. So how different are we going to be than other companies like us? We are going to produce all of the canvases right now. The second one was the business model canvas. And the third one is customer persona canvas, where we can basically understand our clients, our customers in more details with some actual quotes that are of course made up for this purpose, but this is what we think your customers are going to say. We started to produce communication in this AIDA model, so what kind of messages you should be using for each funnel. Key messaging, tone of voice, everything is here, including target audience. This is interesting. Rockin' Rachel, Metalhead Mike, Punk Princess Petra. You have a lot of data about each of them, and for each of them, we're going to have separate campaigns. We can have starting marketing tactics ideas for this campaign, also 7 days of content ideas for social media channels, and the slogans for each of the personas were a piece of music history, for example, for the first one, and the campaign execution. So as you can see, after we created the first data, now with this AI flow that can be also customized, we can start producing a lot of different marketing assets for our marketing strategy. Going back to our strategy document, we've just produced another set of data that goes directly to the strategy section of the document. So we now have canvases that basically summarize all the parameters about our business, and using those, we can easily go for the more creative side of our marketing strategy. And as you will see on the next example with the Rockin' Rachel persona, now it's so easy for us to use some information that we produced before, such as briefing, strategy on persona 1, which is basically this data. And we can go for our graphics generator. And as you will see on the screen right now, using everything that we know about the persona, we can easily generate a few images that can be visualizing the target group that we want to basically address during our campaigns, which will be the next step. So yeah, just pick whichever you like and you can insert that to the document. I have recreated the same process for the second persona and for the third one, but right now I want to go straight to our brand identity because we don't have a name yet, we don't have a logo yet. Let's address it. So as you can see, basically based on everything that we have created so far, including briefing, research, and strategy, I've created 10 brand names. I particularly like the first one, which is T-Era, and this is something that we'll be using for our brand right now. So we have T-Era. I wanted to understand the reasoning behind it, how this relates to the strategy we've created. So we have all the explanation here. And then we also have a logo based on the data we found so far. Once again, we have created a logo using our image generator, and this is our logo. So we now have a name, we now have a brand, we now have a visual representation of it, as you can see here on the logo, and we can go to the next step right now. So finally, I can show you the campaigns and the marketing funnels and tactics, which are a big part of the tool, as we can also recommend marketing tactics specific to the business we're doing right now. And after you hit generate, funnels actually have a separate place in the tool. And as you can see here, we have 4 stages: awareness, consideration, conversion, and loyalty. And for each of those stages, we have some tactics that are matching our strategy, and basically they have to reach specific goal in each of the funnel stages. Just to name a few examples that we have here: sponsored content on blogs, interactive quizzes to find your rock era style, retargeting ads for site visitors, time-limited offers during music events. I think that's very good for our business. Member-only discounts and sales, or invite to join a brand ambassador program. So the next step, what you can do is basically we can go and start executing each of the tactics for the content and for all the creatives that are needed to launch our campaigns. Now, to summarize what happened in the last few minutes is that based on a single sentence about the business that we want to build, we were able to research the market, to have some global trends that later were used as a part of our briefing to the data room. We started to produce a strategy with the canvases, with the customer personas that we have for our campaigns. And finally, we created a brand. We have a name, it's T-Era. We know what the brand looks like, what it feels like. And later we started to go deeper for the persona to understand exactly who's going to be the target of the campaign. And finally, we were also able to recommend and produce marketing funnels with a lot of tactics for each of the funnel stages. And finally, we have our master visuals that we could basically use for the campaign. So this is Digital First AI. I hope you like this. That was one of the custom workflows created by a marketer with specific prompts that are embedded using our multimodal AI technologies. Yeah, thank you very much for this.
That was awesome. Let's keep going. Click on the next video to check out more expert tips.